Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
From the high banks of Daytona to the forests of the Ardennes, the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge arrives at Spa-Francorchamps for round number 2. It's season 10 and a new era for the series, formerly the Mini-Mite Sports Car Challenge, but once again featuring LMP3 and GT4, but with GT3 this season added to raise the level just a little bit higher. I'm Greg Ginsburg, and joining me in the announce booth, as always, except for last week, is Larry Lefty McLeod, and of course, let's not forget Jonathan Grabowski giving you all the best views of tonight's action here on Apex Racing TV. So 2 weeks ago at Daytona, the season opened in style with Zach Hebert of Echelon Simsport, who went pole to checker to take the LMP3 win and the overall over Alex Crow, while in GT3, Noah Hogg delivered the class's first victory of the season for Velocity Motorsports in his Porsche 911, and in GT4, it was an Orion sweep with Mike Dam holding off teammates Travis Schwenke and Robert Hartley to grab the opening win. And so now the challenge shifts to Spa. We've got Eau Rouge and Raidillon, and a circuit that demands bravery and precision from start to finish. New classes, Larry, new rivalries, and this new season for us just getting underway.
Yeah, it's new for us, Greg, because, well, you and I both had other obligations 2 weeks ago, but here we are getting to enjoy this brand new series to us here tonight. But it's round 2, but it's only a 5-round season. So things happening very quickly. Getting points in round 1 was key. We know that. Well, guess what? You're going to have to do it quickly and often because there's no chance to make it up as the summer gets going. This is basically here in the wintertime. Be interesting. So with all that pressure on with only 5 rounds, knowing you've got to get it done, how do drivers respond here in the second round. And yeah, now with 3 very different classes, it's a bit of a mix-up. Whereas the past we had a lot of the GT4s, pros and ams, right? There's GT4s, but we got the GT3s in there as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting, different speeds on what is probably one of the best tracks for multi-class race out there in Spa. I love this place. It's the moto circuit. See if you can tell the difference, though.
That's right. We're not going to tell you what the difference is, but we do know. Actually, we'll tell you maybe eventually. But yeah, Larry. So as you mentioned, we've got the GT3 racers here as we're on board now watching Mike Dam, our round one winner in his Orion Porsche Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport. And he is working his third of 4 flying laps here, where once again, as we always do in the different Ricmotech series, we give our racers 4 flying laps in order to set the grids for this evening's race. And those GT4 racers, they will all have the Ricmotech red number boards. And then we've got João Di Gregorio, who put on a heck of a show last week in the World Challenge. He moves to in GTP for that matter, and moves over to a smaller chassis over to the Lump 3s. And he is your provisional pole sitter. He was also the fastest of our LMP3 racers in practice this week. Being the only prototype cars, I don't think I need to tell you that, well, that's them with the orange number boards and end plates on the wings, etc. But then we also have our GT3 racers like Noah Hogg. Noah, who was our fastest, actually, he was not our fastest GT3 racer this week, but as we mentioned, he took the win in round number 1 for Velocity Motorsports. And like all of the GT3 racers, they've got the green number boards and windshield banners, etc., on the sides of the cars. He's racing that Porsche 911 coming through the final chicane and onto the front straight to complete his 3rd flying lap. And at the moment, Larry, I think right behind him is, well, Neil Weston decided to call off lap number 3. He is at the moment almost 9/10 of a second off of Hogg's times. So that's going to be rough. He's in the BMW this week. So let's jump over to Dale Maxwell in the 111 Mustang, as he is starting now his 3rd of 4 flying laps. Best time in the books for him, a 2:17.35. Again, almost a full second off the provisional pole.
That still closes up quite a bit, as his previous lap was in the mid-18s. So he's getting there as he works his way through, now starting his 3rd lap. We'll see if he can get the 16s to keep up with Noah Hogg. But yeah, you're right. You see these kind of time deltas tells me that Noah really got a good lap for himself now, with almost a full second clear on everybody else, as he is now pulled himself into the pits. Look like Noah's done for this session. But Dale Maxwell really the one here with the opportunity. And I think Aaron Sunday's also still on his 4th lap. And keep an eye on those guys. Chris Hampton, I think, is out there. Greg Brockway, all of them still working their last lap. So not quite yet firmed up for Noah to be on pole, but there's some challengers to finish up. We'll see if Noah can hang on to it.
That's right. So, Larry, in the World Challenge, we typically have a Pro and an AM designation for our GT3 racers. Here in the Sportscar series and the GT Pro, in the GT Pro Sportscar Challenge, those GT3 racers they can come from the World Challenge AM category. We don't have any of the pros here racing with us. And we're also limited to 10 drivers in GT3 at each event. We have 7 joining us here this evening, 6 GT4s, 6 of the LMP3s, as we still have, about 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. We're on board now with Robert Schwenkler from The Wrong Stuff. Interesting to see him, Larry. I'm so used to see him running in the tin tops that he's here in one of the Ligers here this weekend, or probably not this weekend, but this evening.
Yeah, if I recall, he may have run these even in the last season. But yeah, here representing, of course, The Wrong Stuff. We'll see if he can catch up to the Zach Hebert's time. Back at that 2:10, that is very quick around here, just ahead of João Di Gregorio. Just D there on the ticker board. But yeah, so quick times be down to the 2:10s around this place. Robert this time by only a second lap in the book, 2:11.4. So he's still only right now outside of row 2. He may run out of time here to get all of his 4 laps in if he's just now starting his 3rd lap.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be close, as Dale Maxwell just completed his 3rd flying lap. A couple people in the chat, Larry, cheering him on, like Bob Douglas, and Maxwell just turned in a 2:16.98. As you can see from the ticker there, still quite a bit off of Hogg's provisional pole time in GT3, but he is getting closer. He's now working his final flying lap.
Yeah, it sounds like the rest of the Clem Club are off enjoying some winter wonderland activities. So
That's
Dale's
right.
got to hold up the flag for Slow Bros out here. Right now, he's got himself on the outside of the front row with still a lap to finish. So we'll see if Dale can pull this one off. But taking a look at GT4, things have tightened up just a little bit. So we got to take a look there at Dan Carrito. Currently has himself on the outside of the second row there. It is an Orion front row, though, with Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. Both of them done with their session. A 10th between them. Robert Hartley now in the mix. The third of the Orion drivers currently inside row 2. Let's see if Carrito can jump past him. Doesn't look like it.
It's close, though, Larry, as he comes across the line at 2:27.34, 5/100ths of a second between the two drivers that will start on row number 2 tonight in GT4. And looks like all of our drivers have put in times. I'm looking here, Russ Ruddick only completed a single flying lap. But he is now back in the pits as well. The only driver still on track is Dale Maxwell as he comes into the final chicane trying to beat a 2:16.33. Can he do it? And as he crosses the line, Dale Maxwell gives us a 2:16.86. He knocks about 1/1500ths of a second off of his prior best lap, but he's going to have to settle for the outside of the front row in GT3.
Yeah, not a bad lap. Still has a good starting position, but he's going to have to really work hard to keep up with the early laps there to keep the pace with Noah, who will start just on the inside. But, cold tires, GT cars makes for a very interesting outlap. So who's faster actually on the colder tires? That'll be the question. The first time they head through Eau Rouge Radion and the first time through Lacombe chicane will be very interesting in these classes. 3 distinct groups in the past. We've had the pros and the AMs in the same kind of cars, and often they get intermixed. Well, this time with the AMs in the faster GT3s, the pros and the slightly slower GT4s, they're very much bunched up in their own starting groups. So you won't see them mix up in the opening lap, but they will eventually, and that'll be interesting to watch.
And we'll have to see how much that happens, Larry, because based on the times that we saw during practice, I'd expect the LMP3 racers probably to put in somewhere along the lines of 27 laps, 1 less for the GT3s and 2 less for the GT4s. So, and given these smallish fields, we may not see that much interaction here. So let's take a look at the starting grid tonight, starting on pole for Lockton Simsport. That is Zach Hebert in the number 511 Ligier. Then we've got João Di Gregorio. He's going to start on the outside of the front row for Rosso Esports. Then we've got Josh Vidal. Josh running for HTPK. He's going to start 3rd today with Robert Schwenkler from The Wrong Stuff starting in 4th. Starting 5th, good old Bobby Childs from D2D Sim Racing. He's going to start alongside Lead Paul Racing's Pan Hero Day.
All right, as we get into then our GT3s, our AM category on the pole is Noah Hogg from Velocity Motorsports. He'll be lined up alongside the sole representative of Slow Bros tonight, Dale Maxwell. Row 2, it's going to be HTPK Racing's Neil Weston on the inside and OHND's Aaron Sunday on the outside of the second row. The third row, John Casey representing Frito Sport on the inside and Chris Hampton from Lead Paw Racing on the outside. And then finally on the fourth row of GT3s, Greg Brockway from Frito Sport Racing. We've got, of course, our GT4s, pros only in this group. It is Orion front row, Mike Dam on the inside, Travis Schwenke on the outside. The second row, another Orion driver will be holding the inside, Robert Hartley. Dan Carrito on the outside from WBM Racing. And then finally on the third row, Jeff Jacobs representing SCCA Foundation. And the flying tortoise himself, Russ Ruddick, winding out our GT4 field.
All right, as the field gets underway for the short-ish pace lap here, the GT3s and GT4s is going to be doing the Mexican hat dance to swap positions in order to make sure they are in the correct order. And you can see, Larry, already Zach Hebert here trying to get some heat into those tires. Oh, João Di Gregorio doing the same here, because it's going to be very important as they come down the hill and back up into Eau Rouge, that the rear end doesn't walk out.
These prototypes are notoriously bad on cold tires, and these in particular, they do not have ABS. The first time they touch their brakes going into La Source, it will be sketchy, so that's why they're doing anything. I'm sure they're all dragging brakes right now. Anything they can do to get heat into the brakes and tires will be a huge benefit to them. They're ultimately trying to launch off of La Source, get up Eau Rouge, and beat the rest of the field down to Lacombe at the other end of the Camel Straight. On the opening lap is absolutely critical. Small field, but it will be dicey going through there. I'm sure 3 wide.
All right, well, Larry, I hope that Apex Racing TV does tip sharing, because OHND Racing's just tipped them $10. Wow. I want to thank you. We'll be here all week. Enjoy the lamb, as we are getting underway now. As the pace car brings Zach Hebert, João Di Gregorio into the final chicane. You can see the GT3 racers about 30 car lengths back from there as they come onto the front straight into the start zone. The starter looks over the field. The starter supplied by the SCCA Foundation, and green flags in the air for our LMP3 racers. And the outside of the front row, Di Gregorio just gets a miserable start as Zach Hebert jumps into the lead. Josh Vidal takes advantage of the Rosso Esports racers' issues, and Vidal will jump into second. Di Gregorio limits the damage. He's going to slot into third with Bobby Childs in fourth, as our GT3 racers now take the green flag. Dale Maxwell, Noah Hogg, side by side. The Mustang sweeps around the outside. Great start by Dale Maxwell as they start now to make their way down towards the compression over at Eau Rouge and up the hill. And it's our GT4 racers now, they get the green flag and they are underway, and it is an Orion 1, 2, and 3. Dan Schwenke Hartley, Dan Carrizo in his Porsche, slotting in the fourth. Jacobs in fifth, slightly further back in his Aston.
Yeah, shocking to watch that GT3 start there with Dale Maxwell making the move around the outside, really out-dragging Noah Hogg, who had the Porsche. Normally, they launch off corners really well. In that case, it was Maxwell with the advantage. And though it does look like now Hogg has gotten back around him as they've made their way halfway around this massive Spa-Francorchamps course. But we'll catch up with them in a minute. And we're going to catch a little bit of replays. First, we'll start with the LMP3s. Focusing in on Josh Vidal on the cold tires, struggling just a little, and that's a lot of struggle as he goes around through Lacombe.
And he got a little help as the rear end walked around, Larry. Yeah. He wasn't going to catch it as he kind of got the love tap as well. But he gets underway. And Bobby Childs with his issues as well now. And where is that? Is that coming into the 14 and 15, I think?
We'll catch a quick replay of that. Yep, he's coming down the hill into the chicanes, and see where he is at this point.
Actually, I think you're right. I think that's over at, no, yeah, actually, that is 14 and 15.
On the inside. Yeah, I think that is down near Stavolo. But for him, then he gives that spot right back to Josh Vidal as we catch in with our GT4 crowd here as Travis Schwenke has now jumped into the front spot ahead of teammate Mike Dam.
And so, Larry, of course, neither you nor I were there to see it, but it was a great fight between Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke 2 weeks ago at Daytona, with Schwenke getting by, I believe, on the final lap. And now we go and take a look at the replay at the drag race here, going down to Lacombe.
It's a great run there for Schwenke to be able to pull that off at the end of the Camel Straight. Still has that position, but that's the way it goes. GT4 cars being just a little bit less powerful than the GT3s, they will definitely benefit from a draft. I think that was Schwenke's advantage there. Had a good run up through Eau Rouge Radion and was able to make that pay. Now we'll see if Mike Dam can get the good launch point here at La Source and do the same thing and come right back at Schwenke in the same way that Schwenke did over the opening one. Watch the run as we're on board with Mike Dam. Just floating that car. Didn't quite get as smoothly up there, I don't think, as Travis did on the opening lap. So not really watching him close too much. You can see it's coming down, but not as quickly as Mike Dam would like. If anything, Robert Hartley got a better run than Mike Dam did that time through. Just a train here in the GT4s, though. It looks like Russ Ruddock may have had an issue. So he's fallen back a little bit in his BMW. So now we're down to just a 5-car train with those 4 Porsches, and then Jeff Jacobs in the Aston. And here's that section of the track where the bike layout is a little bit different. Coming down here through turn 11, just before you get down to the fast left-handers of Pujol. Down there at 11, it's just the bike has a sort of a shortcut route. That's what the layout we're running here tonight's got a little more fun. It's got a little faster kink for these cars heading down the hills.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the one motorcycle layout that you see, Larry, where it actually you actually go more quickly as opposed, I keep thinking about the motorcycle layouts for Road America or Road Atlanta, which are, basically there to keep you from slamming into a wall at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's interesting here that they do keep you further from the wall, but by actually making the maneuver faster, it just gets further away from the wall than if you were to take the traditional Formula One Grand Prix layout. But here, watching this is interesting. Is Dale Maxwell just turned quickest lap of the race here in the GT3 field, right on the heels of Noah Hogg. And my understanding is those Mustangs have a little bit better top end than the Porsches. So we'll see if Maxwell can turn that into something at the end of the straightaway. He's definitely closing as they're already up to ready on. Let's see if he can do something with it at the end of the straight. Noah Hogg going to probably go defensive, stay to track right. Going to force Maxwell to go around the outside.
On the outside, exactly. Let's see if he takes the bait. He moves over. And Hogg goes over just a touch to counter, and that's enough to hold the Mustang off as they go through Lake Home and make the run down the hill towards Rivage.
Yeah, good attempt there for the Mustang, but you really got to get a better run than that if you're going to catch the Porsche. They do have a little bit better top end than the Porsches. The Porsches, to me, are just amazing at exiting the corner. They can pivot and plant and go. I know they're a little bit more mid-engine in these GT3 configs than they are rear engine, but the physics still works the same over the front engine Mustang when it comes to planting on corner exits.
Well, and Larry, I'll tell you, it was very telling, the camera view that Jonathan used as they came up over Radillon, and you could see where the Porsche was able to hunker down and power out there while the Mustang was still drifting all the way across the track, and going laterally, certainly not as quick as once you get that car straightened out and go in a straight line. And I mean, it showed. He just didn't have the terminal speed at the end of that long straightaway. Let's move.
You can defend pretty well in those Porsches because you can exit corners. You can certainly, the longest of straightaways may be a bit of a struggle, but the rest of them you can do a whole lot of damage by just getting a better exit and not allowing somebody to set you up. My car of choice in GT3s, probably the Mercedes, but it's just so well balanced. But the Porsche certainly has that corner exit advantage. But speaking of Porsches, we've got GT4s.
That's right. Now let's move over to the true mid-engine Porsches that we have here. And the 3 Orion teammates now starting to open up a bit of an advantage over Dan Carrillo in the 320 machine, as that advantage is all of about 1 second. So there's not a lot there, but Carrillo has a chance of falling out of the trash. Not the trash, but the draft, Larry. But we've got a big change here up at the front of the field in LMP3. Let's take a look as Zach Hebert, who was leading João Di Gregorio, heading down now.
Oh, that's a lot of curb.
Yes, it is, and a lot of wall.
Yeah. So that's one of those where you would need to get a rhythm through Lacombe. And it looks like the last pivot of it's a right 90 exit. He just catches that inside curb, and then the car pops, and when it slides to the outside, he kind of overcorrects and ultimately hooks back to driver's right. All that's by hitting the curbs, maybe with a little bit of lift. He's trying to straight line those as much as possible. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him a little bit. Now he's already 4 seconds down from João Di Gregorio, and Robert Schwenkler now starting to catch back up with Zach Hebert.
Yeah, now, so Schwenkler has been lapping about 0.8 of a second off of Hebert's and Di Gregorio's pace. So, I mean, depending on whether or not there was any real damage to the 511 car, or if Hebert maybe has it in his head at this point, he's trying to get everything straightened out. We'll see if Schwenkler can make up some ground, but he hadn't been able to maintain their pace here early on. A little bit further back.
I'm not seeing any damage, visually.
Yeah.
However, it is possible his pace, he's already dropped to 4.5 seconds back from
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. The delta to me to watch would be the one to Robert Schwenkler in third. If Schwenkler really starts to get that under 2 seconds, then it suggests perhaps that Hebert's got himself a little bit of an issue.
And a little bit further back, we saw Vidal and Hirday locked in a pretty nice fight back for 4th position. Probably see them coming into our view here in just a moment. There they are.
Yeah, this, of course, is after Vidal had his spin and then opening head right in this part of the track on those cold tires. Watch him here. Look at that car just bouncing around on him. He is definitely getting aggressive with those curbs. Got to watch himself. Maybe he ought to go watch the replay of Zach Hebert's incident just a moment ago. But Vidal here, 7 seconds back from Robert Schwenkler. I don't know. He's got pretty good pace himself, so we'll keep our eyes on the pace of Vidal, see if he can start to cut into that lead as we're just 10 minutes into this 60-minute race. There's the fan favorite, Aaron Sunday. OHND Racing himself in a battle there with Neil Weston. These are the cars I see. These are my personal favorites. I like the Mercedes a lot. It's got good balance for me. I hear the BMW even has better weight distribution balance in terms of the way they drive out here. It's a good all-around, relatively easy car to drive. And I know that Neil Weston certainly has taken a liking to it. He seems to be driving this one every week. And right now, in a pretty good fight, all 4 of them covering about 2 seconds. Certainly not what we'd expect. Just looking at qualifying times, we thought maybe Noah Hogg and Dale Maxwell might pull away a little bit, but you can see how close things really are once you get to race pace among these 4 cars.
Yeah, exactly. It just has not happened.
Yeah, 4 different cars, 4 different platforms that they're on. If you keep going back the order, the top 6 are in 6 different cars. Oh, it looks like a little wide there for Maxwell.
All right, as they come down into the final chicane, this could be Neil Weston's chance.
I wonder if
He's
Maxwell
a little bit too far back, Larry, to do anything.
Yeah, I wonder if Dale Maxwell actually picked up a slowdown there. We'll have to see if he's at all unusually slow through the next corner or two. But you run wide on some of these places, you go that far off, often you get hit with that half a second slowdown. But doesn't look like he's serving anything, as he's kind of right up even closer now to Noah Hogg than he had been. About as close as he's been at any point. About as close as he was the lap where he got alongside Noah at the end of the straightaway. Dale maybe doing a little bit of fuel savings this time.
Yeah, I was just going to say that perhaps a little bit of fuel savings here. We think that the GT3 racers will probably be able to run about probably somewhere along the lines of 20 laps total, assuming they filled up completely before the start of the race, out of, again, what should be somewhere along the lines of a 26 lap race. So maybe going about 45 minutes of the 60 that we anticipate this run running.
Yeah, look at these guys, the threesome here in Orion, just doing what they do, running together in a pack. Nothing's changed since that opening lead exchange from Travis Schwenke getting by Mike Dam. This is where I start to wonder about Mike Dam and his strategies. He seems to always have the right refueling strategy, which tells me maybe he's using this chance to do a little bit of fuel save himself. He can sit in this position, save fuel, and maybe do a little bit of a pass in the pits when it comes time.
And Hartley Hartley appears to just be mirroring everything that Mike Dam does. So it's
Not a bad strategy.
yeah, exactly. So let's go on board and again using with the benefit of maybe the draft and a little bit of coasting here. I think both Dam and Hartley in a slightly better position than our leader, Travis Schwenke, for the moment.
When you can, let the lead goose go out there and break the wind for you, and then you can come in and actually have to take on less fuel. Yes, I said break wind.
That's right. Now, Schwenke was the fastest of our GT4 racers in in practice this week. Turned in a 227.6, and that is, well, that's exactly what he ran on the prior lap. But he's already run a little bit faster than that here this evening, getting down to a 220.4.
Yeah, it tells you how consistent these guys are. They're basically running qualifying pace here now, already 6 laps into this thing. These guys just continue to grind out as if the race is going to be finishing on this lap. They're not really taking much time off. It's pretty wild the pace these guys can run this consistently. Like, damn, not being aggressive. We'll see if he tries here. You got a great run heading up towards the bus stop. He's going to stay back there. Oh, he almost makes contact. Mike Dam, so good on the brakes.
All right, and as we watch this battle for the lead now in GT4, and Mike Dam stepping over to driver's left, we've got our overall leader, João de Gregorio, for Rosso Esports coming right up on them. Let's see if he waits to get down to, well, we see Hartley already moving all the way over driver's right to set up, and the LMP3 car, he's going to slot in right between the 3 cars.
The speed delta's pretty good, but not as much here. But once they get to this part, now you can see the acceleration just continuing in that big V8 powered LMP3 car, making the best rumbly noises. Look at the cornering speed here through the chicane, leaving the GT4 cars in the distance. And there you can see De Gregorio just sending quickest lap of the race at 2:11.1. It's impressive.
Continuing to stretch things out over Hebert, and then Hebert may have taken on some damage from that wall hit. He's now a little bit under 8 seconds back.
But Hebert is actually slightly pulling away from Robert Schwenkler. So I don't know. I think De Gregorio is just having an amazing run right now and really laying down flying laps. If Hebert's got an issue, it's not causing an issue in his delta back to Robert Schwenkler or Josh Vidal. And there you go. Thank you for the graphic, John. Taking a jump on the outside. Wow.
Yeah, Hebert getting into the marbles there. Larry, driver's left, had to really fight the front end of that car, dial the correction back in order to get around Mike Dam. Dam didn't leave him a ton of room out there, but honestly, wasn't under any real obligation to do so.
Well, we just watched De Gregorio pick his way through the same exact cars, going through Eau Rouge and Radion, and you saw how patient he was. And you see Zach Hebert, that's the difference of being up by 9 seconds versus being down by 9 seconds. Zach thinks, I have to get through this. There's a feeling of desperation, and you really have to expedite to get through. Whereas for João, he could just take his time, knowing he's got some buffer there to work with.
Yeah, and you can see Larry as we watched Hebert come into the final chicane. He is trying to push that car through every single corner, and some of the entries haven't been very clean because of it. He's trying to late break almost everything, much to I think that might be some of the disadvantage that he's seeing.
Yeah, and he's really got to watch that risk reward opportunities, what he's going after, because he is down 9 seconds. It's hard to make that up, but if he makes another small mistake, it may cost him second. And honestly, really the 9 seconds back is Josh Vidal, so he's really got to watch himself, and giving up the second place for potentially losing the third and fourth is probably not a good move.
All right, and back to the battle for the lead in GT3. Noah Hogg, Dale Maxwell. And We'll see now, Larry, as far as that exit speed as they come down to the chicane here at La Source. I'm just going to see that Porsche hunker down.
Yeah, and you can see it just gets up and goes. The Mustang doing actually quite a good job. Dale Maxwell must have a prime setup on that thing. The way it's taken the source to me is very impressive. He's been right up under the back of Noah Hogg in almost every single lap. And you can see here already as they go up through Eau Rouge, he's got that under 2/10. He's within about a car length. And now Noah's already starting to try and break the draft. This may be the opportunity Dale Maxwell's been looking for.
All right, as they come now down and Hogg protecting the inside. Maxwell not quite up on the back corner there as he has to hold off one more time. And Larry, as he's closing down, he's still so far back going into the braking zone. That just doesn't seem to be the opportunity there. He's going to need to get a better run out of Eau Rouge if he ever hopes to get him there at Lake Home. Well,
as much as I've been talking about the Porsche and their ability to plant on exit, the other thing the Porsche GT3 does well is it brakes very well. They can late brake better than anybody. So if you're trying to outbrake the Porsche, if you're in the Mustang, you really do have to be finding a way to do something that you have to almost have a full car length ahead to be able to brake alongside and stay in front of through an area like Macomb. Is Russ Ruddock getting in the action here a little bit. Russ not having the best race, getting lapped by the other GT3 cars. Sorry, Russ of the GT4.
GT4.
A different BMW as Noah Hogg runs just a skosh wide. Keeps it contained. That's a Scagers thing because they've added all that gravel out there now. Old scans in this place, they had all paved runoff there. You could run wide, didn't matter. Now with the gravel, and I can tell you, I just ran this in a league race last week. You hit that gravel the wrong way, you high center the curb with the left tires in the gravel, you will hit the inside right wall. Ask me how I know.
Larry, how do you know?
Especially in Formula cars. They high center real easy.
Very easy. Much easier than some of these cars.
Good clean exit again for Maxwell. He's doing such a good job of getting the car rotated early. Try to get that late apex so you can get on the power really early and try to max the power acceleration in the first, maybe 300 feet or so to what the Porsche does. And look at this run now for Maxwell. Remember before he was getting to under 2/10 sometime after they get to the top of Radio? Here he is. He might be able to get alongside Hogg if he stays in this track, but I'm getting the feeling he's willing to just hang this time.
Hang back,
That was a good run, though, for Dale. Let's see if he can repeat that, maybe catch Noah on a bad exit one of these times. We'll keep the pressure on. Aaron Sunday still hanging back there, not too far. He's just about a second and a half back from Weston. Neil about a second and a half or so back from Noah and Dale here running 1-2. Not a great run down toward Pool Hall for Noah Hogg. Maxwell, nothing to do. Couldn't really do anything with it, but he was certainly right underneath the tail of that Porsche. Stephen Hudak in the chat theorizing that Dale Maxwell may be fuel saving. Yeah, I think you may be right there, Stephen. There's a couple times looks like he could have gotten a little further alongside and chose not to. That's not a bad strategy to try and just save fuel and see if you can undercut him at some point. Oh, little run wide there for Neil Weston right behind these two. A lot of gravel. Should get it going again, but so it lost some momentum exiting that right turn at 16. Should come through Stavolo. Yeah.
So let's go behind the windshield here with Neil Weston.
Complete with that rear-facing camera that a lot of these GT3 cars have on board. It's a good shot of it there. A little mini virtual mirror, but it's a camera. Just like driving your grocery getter at home. Speaking of fuel savings, looks like Mike Dam and Robert Hartley haven't tried to change positions in a while.
Not in the least.
They're doing a little photo opportunity there, John. They're trying to line themselves up and put out their PR material.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's the motorcycle non-chicane.
Yeah, just a kink. I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
I may have to get a message out to Mike Dam and say, hey, this is got to do something to spice up the broadcast here. He's just sitting back here and trying to save fuel. It's not exciting. Come on, Mike Dam. Need some excitement. Oh, that's exciting. Go 4 into the gravel.
Yeah, thank you, Robert Hartley. I was to say, Roller F in the chat, I think Larry tends to agree with you right now. Assuming he's still with us.
Yeah, he's asking why we only have 7 or 8 cars and in each class. Right now, that's the participation that we've got. A couple of folks not able to join this week, but
yeah, I know a couple of people have been caught out by the storms here on the East Coast. That I think has a lot to do with it. Luckily, we survived our 1/32 of an inch of snow down here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Larry, and the accompanying ice storm as well.
Yeah, not that our colleague John here knows anything about the heavy snows that's hitting from this storm. He had nothing else to do but broadcast races. Can't really go anywhere.
Yeah, he can walk outside. Not very far, mind you.
Well, depends. If he's got a dog with short legs, now you're shoveling the backyard just so your dog can do their business. All right, enough about the weather,
Larry
though.
Speaks from experience.
I might. It's not snowing in virtual Spa right now, but Mike Dam is certainly putting on a blizzard of move here behind Travis Rankin. This might be the move. No, he's going to stay in line. Do you like that segue?
Just giving the quick look, and Larry, we're coming up on 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We're only 25 minutes into the 60-minute race, not even halfway.
Wait, can we quickly check a replay on our leaders in GT3? As we've had a change of the lead, it is now Neil Weston leading the way. Dale Maxwell, Stephen Hudak in the chat just gave us a tip. There you go. There's Noah Hogg. There's Dale Maxwell coming up towards the bus stop. Not quite there yet as they go through this last kink. And look at this.
Both of them synchronized. And Larry, I was watching as Max. Oh my gosh. As Maxwell, even before he came around the bend, it looked like the car was very loose on him. I don't know if he had maybe some challenges before, but the rear end walked out even just a little bit before there.
Let's watch the replay here from Neil Weston's view as he's trying to figure out where to go with these 2 spinning cars in front of him. And it looks like Aaron Sunday maybe loving the opportunity as well, as he's going to fall right in behind Noah Hogg and Neil Weston. So unfortunately, Dale Maxwell and the Slow Bros has got some repairs to take, but Neil Weston's our new leader. And look at Noah Hogg trying to go Danny Sullivan spin to win tonight as he didn't hit anything. So this opportunity is still there, but that was sketchy. His tires are probably a little slick and overheated at that point, but and
Neil Weston's chagrin, just as they were coming into the chicane at the end, and didn't give Hogg a lot of opportunity to get that position back. And so we'll see here how long Neil Weston can hold off our former leader.
Yeah, well, Noah Hogg, when you go through a massive spin like that, your tires will overheat and you'll have nothing. I'm sure Noah, when you hit to the brakes, all of a sudden the car maybe went into ABS mode. He wasn't going to be able to slow down. Now we've got our leader overall in the race, and we're watching a replay, and that is him pulling in the pits.
Yeah, Gregorio came into the pits, one of our early LMP3 stops. I think Bobby Childs had come in as well, and I think on the same lap. So that now moves Zach Hebert back into the lead. And we did see that the pit window for the LMP3s would have opened up right around lap 9, and so Di Gregorio comes in on lap 12 long before the close of that window. We think the window is going to stay open until lap 18 or thereabouts. So maybe a number of laps.
Yeah, Zach just
Well.
went in for his pit stop. Schwenkler looks like he stayed out. Vidal, we'll see if he comes in. But yeah, I think you're right. Di Gregorio did his stop. Zach Hebert right in line for his.
All right, as the clock comes down, as we take a look now at Josh Vidal, currently running second now in LMP3, as both he and our new leader, Robert Schwenkler, are yet to pit.
Speaking of Schwenkler, there he is.
Yeah.
Trying to get around the GT4 Aston Martin.
Aston of
Jeff Jacobs. Yeah. Of course, got the University of Florida colors on it. There he is. The SCCA Foundation livery and all there on his Aston Martin. He's got his buddy Russ Ruddock just behind him as they come down the hill through this little dip of the Moto kink down towards Pujols. I just love this track. The spectacular views, the up the hill, the down the hill, little off camber here and there, these kinks that are so fast. And then you get to these chicanes as you come down this into this 13-14 complex, and it's just so fast, but it's just such a good rhythm to it. Oh, Josh Vidal trying to get his way around Russ Ruddock back there, and we're going to see him getting up to Jeff Jacobs here in just a second. There's Josh. Get a little bit of that onboard sound from that LMP3. Oh, looks like we may have a new leader again in GT3. No Hug may have just taken it back from Neil Weston.
Yeah, Larry, I think it was only a matter of time as Weston had been. Well, actually, the fastest lap times are almost identical. Let's take a look at the move.
Yeah, we could also see what's going on with Mike Dam, but we'll get to that in a second. As here comes the move with all the GT4 traffic in there, those Orion cars. A good opportunity to follow those Caymans, get a little bit of extra draft, and make the move on Weston now going into Lacombe. But I mentioned in GT4s that Mike Dam, who'd been running right up under the deck lid of his teammate Travis Schwenke, is no more in that position. As he comes up, radio runs a bit wide.
Here.
That might be a slowdown penalty.
I think that's exactly what it was. As Robert Hartley goes by, Mike McDam slots back into third position. And as we saw them follow that pass for the lead in GT3, Mike Dam was probably a good 10 car lengths back from Schwenke and Hartley at that point.
Yeah, and I'm surprised with Dam. Typically, the way it works in iRacing, when you get that slowdown, it comes up and says you've gone too far off, you've had enough, your penalty for cutting the course, and there's a countdown. It's normally about 20 to 30 seconds that you have to slow your pace by, let's say, about 1 second or so. You don't have to take it right away. You get about 30 seconds to do it. I'm actually surprised that Dam did it there. Normally, there's a bigger penalty if you do it in the middle of a straightaway because you can't get your speed back up. If you do it in the corner, you serve it very quickly. Now Mike Dam has to work his way to catch back up to Rob Hartley and Travis Schwenke. Looks like he's doing that, but it's almost like giving himself an extra penalty he didn't really need to. He's got a little bit of a wavy front end. I wonder if he had bumped into the back of Travis Schwenke at some point. Just a little bit of front damage, but it's not from the off track. Don't know where he took that.
Well, Larry, you were talking about how good Mike Dam was on the brakes, and as he would enter into as he'd go into the braking zone of Lacombe, inches off the back of Travis Schwenke's bumper. Perhaps one time it wasn't so clean.
Perhaps Travis Schwenke has a matching dent on the rear of his Porsche Cayman?
I would think that that's a possibility.
He may. There may be a little extra wrinkle there.
Let's take a look at what Robert Hartley sees. I don't know. It looks kind of clean back there, Larry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Robert Hartley that's got the telltale sign.
Now that we've given a full medical exam to Travis Schwenke from Robert Hartley's point of view.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything to get me in any more trouble than I normally do, Larry. I don't know if any of them are over 50 years old at this point.
All right. Coming up behind this crowd.
Never mind the fact that they probably would have had to go under anesthesia for that.
It's Dale Maxwell coming up through this crowd now after taking on his repairs. Looks like it wasn't too many to have to serve. He did end up about a lap or so down from the rest of his GT3 compatriots, but here he is just trying to get through the GT4 leaders in that Mustang. This is, you can see here, it's the cornering speeds aren't different, but the straight line speeds, GT3 should be quite a bit quicker. A few more ponies under the hood of that Mustang than in the trunk of the Cayman.
And Larry, want to thank D. Brad or Die Brad, who just contributed or tipped another $2. So now you, John, and I can split things evenly at $4 a piece. All
Awesome.
right, and coming on to the pit lane now, Travis Schwenke from the lead in GT4. That is now going to elevate his teammate Robert Hartley to first, with Mike Dam second. And I think the only GT4 racers yet to pit are Hartley and Dam at this point. And Larry, we're right up at the top of the hour. Let's see where they come out. But as we take a look at Panhirde here, who is also yet to pit. Coming in now, there is Chris Hampton in his GT3 McLaren. All right, so Travis Schwenke now heading back out on track. Be interested to see where he comes out in relation to Dan Carrillo. And as he hits the track, Carrillo about 7 seconds in arrears. All right, Larry, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Thanks to some of our partners and sponsors, and then we'll take everybody all the way to the checkered flag here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge on Apex Racing TV. Stay with us.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best-trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org. The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps, round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsburg along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And Larry, we've got most of our pit stops now complete and getting a much better picture of the field here as Robert Hartley and Mike Dam have managed to both overtake Travis Schwenke on the pit stop cycle. Robert Hartley is your new leader. Mike Dam slotted in just behind, and there's Travis Schwenke just slightly further back. Over in LMP3, as we were coming back from break, João Di Gregorio, he turns in, my gosh, what a flyer, a 210.38, currently lapping almost 7/10 of a second faster than Zach Hebert in second, just absolutely laying down smoking fast laps. And over in GT3, Noah Hogg, Aaron Sunday, both bring their cars down to the pit lane. They are the last 2 drivers to pit, and we'll see where they come out as Mike Dam now has overtaken teammate Robert Hartley. Let's see how it happened.
All right, well, here they've come out of their pit stops, and they too were a couple seconds ahead of Travis Schwenke. Hartley just struggles there through that slow corner and just unable to get the car to turn in. I wonder if some of that's just a little bit, if they did put on fresh tires, if they're a little bit cold still, only a lap or so after putting them on.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of brake lock up there. And Larry, we've got a new leader after pit stops. He didn't have much trouble retaking the lead after his off early on, but Neil Weston, he is your new leader in that HDPK BMW with Noah Hogg running in second. But let's do this. Let's check back. I want to take a look at our 3rd place driver in GT3, racing for OHND. Let's follow along with the Mercedes of Aaron Sunday.
Oh, that's so good.
And as we go on board with Aaron here, OHND Racing tells us not to run off to Rio with with all that money. If we're splitting it 3 ways, and that's the plan, I probably can't even get out to the 7-Eleven from here with that amount. And all right, let's take a look, Larry, here, because Robert Hartley just a lap ago outbroke himself, maybe on cold front tires, gets a great run out of Radion, pulls right alongside Mike Dam and drives by him long before they get into the braking zone for Lake Home.
Well, that's the same spot we think Mike Dam had the slowdown penalty a couple laps before that led to him falling back to third spot. I think he did it that time. Again, avoided this time the penalty, but certainly got all the momentum loss and allowed Robert Hartley to make that move all the way down the Camel Straight. Now, of course, they've got the GT3s coming through there. I think that is the Acura of Greg Brockway trying to sift his way in that Frito Sport entry between all of these Orion GT4 cars. Not much space, but he's trying.
Yeah, I would say, well, Brockway's got some pressure on him now from Chris Hampton. We saw Hampton come down the pit lane a little bit earlier in the 907 McLaren.
Well, yeah, but picking his way right through there, that is Bobby Childs. Bobby trying to make his presence felt with authority. And then the McLaren of Chris Hampton in there now, just right behind Bobby's. You were talking about Hampton trying to chase down Greg Brockway. It's Bobby Childs that all the children are running from here as they head towards their source. Bobby, of course, one of our fan favorites. Always brings out the excitement in the crowd. sometimes for his driving excellence and sometimes for his spectacular exits.
Yes. Wait, you said excellence at some point in there, right? Or did I hear you
It
wrong?
happens. He's won races. He's been on podiums.
I mean, some of his offs have been amazing. I would
And
classify
some
them
of
as excellent.
There is spectacularisms in there somewhere. All right, so let's take a look at
don't want to
the.
play a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure sound clip right now.
All right, so Neil Weston doing a good job here holding off Noah Hogg. Weston really getting into a groove there in that BMW. The longer this race goes on, Noah's going to try and pressure him. Still 16 minutes to go in this thing. So look how clean and how fast Noah is using all the curbs going through that bus stop chicane. But no momentum, no place to go with all that speed.
Yeah, and Neil looked all kinds of crossed up going into the chicane, but he's able to get the power back down, and and all you have to do is you put a wheel wrong in the chicane itself, and there's nowhere for the attacking car behind to go, and we saw there where Hogg actually got a pretty miserable jump out of the chicane, and you see the effects of it right here.
Yeah, he's trying. The BMW is just quick enough in a straight line. They'll see if he's good enough late on the brakes, or does the Porsche have the advantage? Good line but look at Hogg just diving around him. There's the late brakes, that nice late turn in. That's clean racing, and that's beautiful. Yeah, that was a great move.
Yeah, I want to see that again if we can. Let's go to the Jim Cunningham helicopter view here.
All right, so great on the brakes. It's not so much the initial braking, it's the fact that he was able to hold that speed on the outside. Weston probably didn't take advantage of the line and the late braking that he had and just take that space away. But great move there for Noah.
Yeah, I was going to say, Larry, that Weston could have maybe tracked out a little bit more drivers, or started that turn in maybe a little bit more from drivers left. He really gave himself a very compromised entry into the chicane there, but not to take anything away from that move by Noah Hogg. That was just a late breaking clinic there.
Now we saw Noah trying to catch Neil Weston in some of these slower corners. He seemed to be very aggressive on the curbs and really might be able to advantage there. Let's see if he can pull away a couple of ticks here through this next chicane, and as they get down through La Source, see if he can have enough to break the draft going down the Camel Straight. But just watch him attack the curbs here as we approach the bus stop. It's that Porsche just climb them. Oh, he kind of missed the turn in where he was the last time. But he does get a good strong exit.
And just look at how many car lengths he opens up on the BMW. I think the chicane has probably been Weston's weakest corner.
Yeah, and even here at La Source, which we had seen Dale Maxwell doing a great job out-dueling Noah Hogg for the first part of this race. Noah this time gets a really good exit, and you can see now he's got 8-9 car lengths as they head up to Radion here on this lap. And a lot of this was just a much better run through La Source than what Neil Weston had. There's a little bit of draft for Weston, but not enough.
So 12.5 minutes remain, and it is João Di Gregorio, your leader in LMP3, with almost 15 seconds now on, or 14 seconds on Zach Hebert. Robert Schwenkler running in third.
Look at that fastest lap now for Di Gregorio.
Oh my gosh.
2:09.7. Quickest lap by anybody not named João Di Gregorio. I think is a 2:10.7 by Zach Hebert. So he's got a
2:10.6 for Josh Vidal.
Okay. So nearly a full second faster on a single lap than anybody else in the field. Sean is just flying out there right now. As Jeff Jacobs going a little wider than he probably needed to, making sure he was the overall race leader there.
Child coming up on.
I mean, it's a red prototype. It could be.
Exactly.
Tell you what, Neil Weston hasn't gone away, though. Here he is, back under the tail end of Noah Hogg. as they head again through Blanchimont on their way to the chicane. Now he's going to try and steal a little bit of draft off of Robert Schwenkler. Schwenkler's going to make this interesting here. He's sort of patient, but maybe giving Weston a little bit of toe.
Well, and you can see Weston's just hanging right in behind. And as they come into the chicane, he'll get the benefit of that toe coming out as well.
Let's see if Schwenkler pops and tries to go around Hogg before Lasource. This will help Weston if he can, because it'll put them side by side, and even a little bit of an off there for Schwenkler may have slowed up Hogg just enough. Let's see if Weston can capitalize. Hashtag the wrong stuff now entering the chat.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Copeland. Good to see you.
Oh, look at this. Now is
Me, I hate iRacing, but he loves us, Jonathan.
Sure. It's fair to say for anybody.
Or at least Larry.
Oh, look at this. And Leo Dragotta calling out others for isn't it past their bedtime?
No, Copeland doesn't have to go to bed until after Johnny Carson finishes.
Leo just has to finish his algebra homework.
Exactly. Isn't that what we've been doing?
Wow, it's all kinds of diciness. As we're into the last 10 minutes now, I'm watching Chris Hampton side by side with the Orion trio of GT4s. Now all of them together as they go through the chicane. Hampton runs real wide. He's going to have to do it all again.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to end up coming up on him again. And all the while, I was looking to see where Greg Brockway was in all of this, and Brockway's managed to pull clear. I think about 5 seconds separating the two of them. Was that more than 5 seconds? I think about 5 seconds.
Ken Copeland claiming yes, but at least he can eat ice cream whenever he wants, as long as he watches his blood sugar.
That's right.
All right, well, all this fighting.
Uh-oh. I think we lost Larry. So let me finish that sentence for him. with all this fighting, actually, I don't know what he was going to say. But as we watch now, Robert Hartley continues to stretch the lead now over Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke, now at over a second and a half. There, he's back. Larry, you were just about to say, after all this fighting...
Wow, yeah, I'm back now. After all this fighting, it's allowed Robert Hartley to pull away a number of car lengths on Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. And yeah, I don't know what that was about. A little bit of a hitch in my giddy up that didn't work out so well. So again, I make one old man joke, and the world reminds me how old I am.
Maybe we need the teenagers to come in and help you with your tech stuff. Leo, what are you doing later?
All right, well, we've been now almost a full lap now where that McLaren continues to ride behind the trio of GT4s.
And who is that coming up right behind all of them, Larry? That's our overall
race
leader as well.
Yeah. Jean Di Gregorio, although he's got a 15-second buffer, he can kind of take all the time he wants and not have to worry about it. He's going to stay alongside Mike Dam. This is a pretty safe bet. As Chris Hampton now says, okay, fine, I'll try this again. Let me put myself between Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. He's going to try and outbreak them. Maybe not.
And Schwenke's going to use the McLaren as a draft partner here. Maybe. Much better exit this time for Hampton, and that should allow him to get by the number 93 car. Or not.
He seems to be content. Well, we know that 2 weeks ago it came down to the last couple of corners between a pair of Orion cars, and now with this trio running with, we'll call it 6 minutes to go, can there be a last lap push? Can Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke somehow, maybe a little bump draft, we don't know, catch up to Robert Hartley and make a move on the last lap? I don't know. Hartley's looked pretty strong here in the last numbers since he was able to get past Mike Dam.
Yeah, he has, Larry. And so 2 weeks ago, he did finish third with Schwenke coming in second. We'll see. Of course, we're going to do it all again in 2 weeks here at Phillip Island. Going to be heading down to Australia for our first and only dual 30-minute sprint race week, so it should be a good fight, but let's see how things play out here. Should also mention that next week it's going to be round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, going to be at Watkins Glen International for a 75-minute race, and then in 3 weeks going to be heading to Spain. The World Challenge heads to Motorland Aragon for a 90-minute, one of the World Challenge extended length 90-minute races at I think a circuit that we haven't been to before, Larry.
Yeah, I don't think we have yet. I'll be interested to be able to see how that place races, and if the folks have put in their time to learn a new track. It's relatively new here on the platform. Five minutes to go. Di Gregorio continues to go for fastest lap. 2:09.4 last time by.
And he has just been spot on here for most of the evening. Is Noah Hogg, who had his brief moment of infamy, Larry, but he's fought his way back on 2 separate occasions and leads the rest of our GT3 field.
Yeah, impressive recovery. First, the bit of skill, bit of luck to save the car from complete annihilation there when he had his spin, but then to be able to get around Neil West, not once but twice. To be able to do it both before and after the pit stop exchange. It's been pretty impressive here for Noah Hogg. Trying to go back-to-back, having won the opening round at Daytona 2 weeks ago over, would you believe, Neil Weston and Aaron Sunday. And so right now we're sitting on the same 1, 2, 3 that we had 2 weeks ago. There's OHND's Aaron Sunday. Currently in third comfortably right now. You can see no traffic or anything to bother him.
I want to thank for late, but he's tossing the zinger. I've been trying him out at the Funny Club here early on for the first show. All right, Larry, as we've got now just a touch over 2.5 minutes remaining, and so for our GT4 racers, likely one more lap after this, given that Di Gregorio has just crossed the line to start for him what will likely be, well, he's likely going to have one more lap after this as well. So we'll see here how the GT4 cars see if they have enough fuel to make it to the end, because it looks like they're going to have to do an extra lap.
Yeah, that'll be very, very close. Keep an eye on that. I'll tell you what, Di Gregorio is just flying out there. Backed up that 2:09.4 with a 2:09.5 last lap. He's just nothing pushing him, no threats. He's just laying down a rhythm here on a light fuel load at the end of the stint and absolutely flying.
No. Little heavy on the throttle there, Larry. We saw a little bit of tire spin from the left inside wheel, but if that's the worst of it, he's just been putting on a masterclass tonight.
Yeah, he really has.
Meanwhile, I'm going to ask the OHND guys to redirect that tip over to Jordy Fike, because I think I think, yeah, I mean, the comedian deserves to get the tips here tonight instead of the wait staff. So. All right, Russ Ruddick heading down the pit lane, and this is his, I think, third stop. Actually, he's been in there for a while now. In the BMW.
Unfortunate way to finish his night. But I can tell you, as we are now getting close to this white flag, should see it this time by, as that's Jean de Gregorio. Right now, across the start finish, there's going to be about a 20-second differential.
Unless he comes to
the
a
end of the race.
Stop right about now.
Yeah. All right, so that is white flag in the air. I can see Barney and all of his friends waving white flags. That means if Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke want to get a push on Robert Hartley, now is the time, as they've got about a lap and a half to do it. And it's under a second, so Mike Dam maybe finally turning it on at just the right time. That little slide didn't help.
With Noah Hogg coming up behind, we'll see if this impacts the GT4 race at all. He easily gets by Travis Schwenke, coming back to the scene of his unfortunate crime.
Oh, no!
And Larry!
Oh, one lap to go. All he needs to do is finish. And now in the leader is Neil Weston.
And here comes Neil Weston back to the lead.
One lap to go for these guys. And Noah Hogg, if he doesn't have too much damage, is going to have to do it again. But I don't know. That car looked like it actually hit the wall.
He hit pretty hard, Larry. And I'm sorry if I just brought out the announcer's curse.
Oh, you totally did. It's your fault. As we go on board for this replay, you watch Noah as he's trying to avoid the GT4s in front. I think that may have distracted. Yeah, look at that speed.
He got out of the throttle. Larry, he got out of the throttle at the last moment there. He closed up so much ground on Mike Dam, and I think the rear end just unloaded.
There's nothing that Mike Dam can do. Obviously, he's just floating that car at limit through those as well. It's just the GT3 car. That's its peak speed. I don't know that there's 2 seconds of pace for Noah Hogg to catch Neil Weston, but heartbreaking for Noah to have that happen. Unbelievable opportunity, though, now for Neil Weston to come away with a win. He's still got to go 3/4 of a lap around and do the same traffic navigation that just cost Noah Hogg this potential victory here. But we'll catch up to them in a second, as well as the battle in GT4. But we've got our race leader with a pair of corners to go.
There you go. As João de Gregorio comes into and out of the chicane onto the front straight, and he's going to take the win both overall and in LMP3 here for round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge. Congratulations to him.
Well, this race isn't over yet.
Now, this race isn't over, but Weston now coming up into the final corners here with about 6 car lengths, maybe a little bit more, on our former leader, Noah Hogg.
Noah was down 2.5 seconds. It's down half of that now. He's at 1.3. That's not going to help. A little bit of gravel as he runs wide for Noah. Neil Weston just being super consistent, keeping that car contained. It seemed like Noah had done a really good job of getting through the GT4 traffic. In fact, may have done enough to prevent Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke from having a run at Robert Hartley. Instead, as Mike Dam goes blinky, blinky, maybe at the wrong time, they're going to go side by side to the same kink that we just saw Noah Hogg spin on. We'll get with them in a second because our GT3 leader now, Neil Weston's got one more turn to go, and he's going to have victory here in round 2.
There you go. And taking the win in GT3 is Neil Weston for HTPK, with Noah Hogg finishing second. And in GT4, taking the win, and it wasn't pretty, Larry. He got it done. Robert Hartley takes the win in GT4 for Orion Racing. Travis Schwenke beats teammate Mike Dam to the line for second. Dam will finish in third. And so the order from round number 1 is reversed. Let's take a look at Dam and Schwenke here on the last lap. And by the way, Hartley was just fine there in the last corner. But look at this, Mike.
But not these two.
I've heard of trying to open up corners, Larry, but Mike Dam went into the chicane.
Well, Mike Dam
was an extreme one.
Yeah, he tried the over-under and turns out he did the over and out move is what he did and gave that second place to
Exactly.
Travis Schwenke.
Oh
But what a
my.
good run. What a good race for those guys. But Robert Hartley, it has been a long time since we've had Robert Hartley in Victory Circle. Looking forward to talking to him. But Neil
Absolutely.
Weston, Mr. Consistency, getting the win here. Noah got to feel heartbreak. Just a 1.1 laps to the finish, having that big spin. It's going to be a tough one to recover from. And
That's it.
what excellence there for Jean Di Gregorio. Can't wait to hear from him.
And throwing dollar bills in the air, Larry, is OHND with Aaron Sunday coming in third, and of course completing the podium over in LMP3, Zach Hebert with second, and Robert Schwenkler coming in third. All right, let's take a quick break. Thanks some partners and sponsors, and then we come back and talk to our winners. You'll get to talk to Robert Hartley for the first time in a very long time. You have just seen round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge. Stay with us for those interviews. We'll be right back.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best-trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org. The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps, where you just see round number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech GT Pro Sports Car Challenge. I'm Greg, he's Larry, and these are our podium finishers in LMP3. João de Gregorio from Rosso Esports will take the win, the first for the Brazilian, with Zach Hebert, our pole sitter, finishing second, and Robert Schwenkler from The Wrong Stuff finishing in third. Over in GT3, oh, talk about announcers' curses. Oh my. Neil Weston from HTPK taking the win over Velocity Motorsports. Noah Hogg could not overcome Weston 3 times tonight. He's going to have to settle for second. Aaron Sunday from OHND, he finishes in third. And then over in GT4, it was the Orion show once again, and completely inverted from what we saw in race 1, week 1 at Daytona. Robert Hartley taking the win, Travis Schwenke finishing second, and Mike Dam, who I think almost ended up over in the Netherlands on that. He was almost in Zandvoort making that move through the last chicane, Larry, and he comes home in third. All right, let's take a look. I think we got a number of our racers sitting in the green room. Let's Larry, let's start off with GT3 tonight, and our winner from HTPK Racing, Neil Weston.
All right, so Neil Weston joining us. And Neil, that was a crazy race. You inherit the lead once, then you go to the pit stops and you get the lead back. And then with a lap to go, you have the other incident where, again, Noah has issues in front of you. How do you avoid the first time he spins in front of you? And then the second time, again, you haven't had to be awake and ready for it. Absolute chaos. How do you come through that and still be thinking, there's a chance to win this race?
Honestly, third place is my favorite place to be. I love it when P1 and P2 are fighting, and I could just kind of hang back and give them a little bit of space and let them make their mistakes and pick up the pieces. That's my first real life race, and karting was won much the same way. Two honestly faster drivers fighting for the position, and me just taking my time and sliding in there when I can.
Yeah, well, his strategy worked well tonight. We always thought, are you going to have to 3 times defend on Noah? But it looked like the last time, again, you just seemed so consistent. So there was no opportunity there for Noah to come back at you in the last lap. Absolute consistency, lap after lap after lap. But it just seemed crazy that Noah clearly had great pace tonight, but you had what looked like just consistency in your pace.
Yeah, that was Noah's been a tough opponent with this league and the XMS league. It's we've only raced each other a couple of times now, but he is a tough opponent, and pretty happy to be ahead of him today, even though he definitely had the pace on me there for a while.
Yeah, he was strong, but sometimes you do have to actually finish the race. He was 1 lap from it and couldn't quite get through that traffic one last time. You managed to do that and then pull away with this victory. This has to be really good news for you. You look at the points. You last week, of course, came in second to Noah. Now you're able to get the advantage here. So with 2 out of the 5 races down, you guys should be pretty much deadlocked. Are you going to be, does this motivate you at all to work a little harder for next round?
Oh, absolutely. Last season in XMS, I was, missed out on a podium position just by a few points, and I kind of determined that this season that's not happening. So I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the time in the seat, and I'm looking forward to some more hard racing.
Yeah, well, it was good stuff here tonight. It was a relatively small field, but not small on battles and entertainment. We certainly enjoyed it. But great job for you. But I know you've got teammates and friends and family you probably want to give a shout out to.
Absolutely. HTPK, we just won our first 24-hour endurance race. Chester Guidry and Lloyd Cooper, they've really kind of pushed me to be faster with every time we work together for the race and everything like that. And then shout out to my parents. They usually are checking in, so thanks for watching.
Yeah, well, awesome job here tonight. Great job on winning your HTPK, coming together and winning the 24. That's never easy to do, so congrats on that as well. And I'm sure we'll see you again in 2 weeks right out here, ready to take another round. So HTPK's Neil Weston getting the win here tonight in GT3. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right, Larry, let's move over to GT4 now. And you said it, we haven't talked to him for quite some time. Let's bring in Robert Hartley, our winner tonight in GT4, driving the number 3 Porsche Cayman GT4 RS for Ryan Motorsports.
All right, so Robert Hartley. And Robert, it has been a long time since we've had a chance to talk to you. So congrats on getting the win tonight. How you feeling?
Oh, feeling good. That was exciting. It's been a real long time.
Yeah, well, about halfway through that race, I was saying to Greg, I was like, man, this is getting boring. I got to text these Orion guys, tell them to start mixing it up. And you did. Suddenly, you come out of the pit stops, and, you and Mike are battling, and you guys are you already got past Travis, and then you had a big slide. Mike gets by. Mike has a big slide. You get by. And, boy, it got super exciting down there near the end. But was it just full gloves off tonight? Just sort of saying, I got to win this thing. Forget these other two?
Well, Mike and Travis set a great pace the first half of the race, and I couldn't touch them. I could just hang in the draft, sit back there and watch them, and was able to save a little bit of fuel. I think Mike saved more fuel than I did. But yeah, I had to slide after the pits, and Mike got by me, and then he done the same thing the next lap, and I got by him. So
yeah,
just fast enough to hold them guys off with the traffic.
Yeah.
So
and then as you get down near the end there, and the GT3s coming through seem to get everything all mixed up as well. I think you were just ahead of the big incident behind you, but could you see in your mirrors that maybe that was going to be finally the moment that allows you to break away from these guys?
Oh yeah, I could tell when Mike would lose a half a second. It was killing him.
Well, it's great to have you back at Victor's Circle. I know it's been a long time, been a couple years, but glad to have you back in here and pulling out another win here for the team. But it's always probably feels a little special though, beating your teammates straight up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a small field, but I'm telling you, them couple guys in here, they're extremely fast. So I'm glad to win one finally.
Yeah, it was awesome stuff there, Rob. But I know you've got a great team and probably some other folks you want to give a mention to here.
Yeah, definitely got to give a shout out to Travis and Mike. They worked hard on our setups, and it shows. And they put in the work, and we're fast every week. I show up and try to get as fast as them guys. So thanks to them, and thanks to y'all for putting on this broadcast. I love watching it.
Yeah, we love doing it. Nights like this, it's exciting. Races like this certainly make it super easy on us. But so congrats on putting on a show and coming away victorious here for Orion Race Team. Get the win here in GT4. Rob Hartley, congrats.
Maybe I can talk to y'all soon in the GT3s. We'll see.
Let's hope so.
All right, there you go, everybody. Rob Hartley. All right, let's wrap things up, Larry, with our winner tonight in LMP3, running for Rosso Esports, João de Gregorio.
All right, João, great job tonight getting the victory here just in dominant fashion in that LMP3. A lot of traffic out there tonight, but you seem to be able to play the patient game with that traffic. Was that, have you built that buffer? Was that sort of the strategy? Just pick your moments through the traffic?
Hi guys, it was a very good race. I think I just lost pole for 100th of a tenth. It was a very good. I was chasing Zach, getting used to the car. It seems January last year that I didn't drive the LMP3. It's a very good car. It's a very fun car. I tried to pit early to avoid the GT3 traffic because GT4 is easier to pass, but GT3 is almost the same speed as us in the end of the straight. So I pit early to get a free track ahead, and then I was getting used to the car, and the car was feeling great, and I was like hitting laps and laps, and I was just trying. Let's get a little bit every lap. I think I hit a 2:9.4. It was amazing lap.
Amazing.
But the pace was there. It was very consistent, and I could bring the victory home. I think Zach will be a very much challenge if he didn't have the accident. But I was just trying to focus on getting lap after lap, you know.
Yeah, no, you definitely were consistent, but that pace in the last 10 minutes, we were in awe watching those 209s start to drop down there. In moments like that, do you think about being conservative and knowing you've got this 15-second buffer? Do you think I'll just slow down, or are you just going for that perfect lap?
I wouldn't risk myself to get a spin, but I think if you gradually pull the bar up, you know, it's a very good way to get laps. I was getting used to the car getting lighter and fast, so no, it wasn't the idea to hold back, but not trying to kill myself to hit a 2.8. I think 2.89 it would be a very good lap, the fastest lap of all, but 2.9.4, I was very happy with that.
Yeah, it's amazing, solid pace when you're not even being pushed really at that stage of the race to be able to go lay down those laps consistently. Every lap we've seen a couple in a row there, right in that 209 grouping. So impressive stuff here tonight for you. But awesome way to get a victory here. Now a couple of rounds in, a couple of victories for you. And looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. But I know that you probably got a team maybe you want to, or some friends and family you want to thank or mention here?
Yeah, I want to send a kiss to my fiancée. She's already sleeping, but I will show the broadcast tomorrow. I want to say a huge thank to everyone at Rosso. They were like, oh, you have to try the Ricmotech, so try that, and I agreed. So thanks to Takahashi and Filippo. And I want to say thank you to a guy here in Brazil. We have a race called 1,000 mile of Interlagos, and last year we won the virtual version of it. We raced from Interlagos, and we did our virtual race side by side with the real race. It was very fun, and a guy that came to Rojoso this week. I want to say a huge thank you to Pedro de Oliveira and Rafael Rodriguez. Welcome, guys, and let's achieve a lot this year, because 2025 was an amazing year, and I want to make 2026 even better.
That's awesome, and we know you're off to a great start here in our series in 2026, and looking forward to some more of that success and that excellence driving that we get to lucky enough to be able to call as you put on a show every week. So congratulations, and congratulations to your fiance back there in Brazil, and I'm sure she's looking forward to watch this race on replay and seeing how well you did tonight. So congratulations for Rosso Esports, João de Gregorio. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Larry. With that final interview, let's wrap things up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going and looking, as we mentioned, this is a shorter season, only 5 rounds here in season number 10, but I believe that there is also the ability to drop your lowest points race, and that is going to be a great opportunity for João, who did not race in round number 1. And so with 2 rounds in the book so far, in LMP3, Zach Hebert with 129 points, and João only with 68. But you take that drop, and he's in a much better place right now. In the other 2 classes, it is Noah Hogg, your points leader, currently with 2 points. Let's take a look here. Noah Hogg with 4 points over Neil Weston at the moment. And in GT4, Mike Dam and, not a big surprise here, Travis Schwenke tied for the lead with Robert Hartley, who came in 3rd at round number 1 at Daytona, currently sitting all of 3 points back. All right, let's take a look at what we got coming up in the next couple of weeks here across our Ricmotech series. Next Monday night, February 2nd, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's round number 2 of the World Challenge. We're going to be at Watkins Glen International for 75 minutes of fun. That's for our GTP, LMP2, and GT3 Pro and AM racers. And then in 2 weeks, the GT Pro Sports Car Challenge heads down to Australia for our first and I believe only round, comprised of 2 30-minute sprint races. That is Monday night, February 9th, again, 8:10 Eastern Time. And then in 3 weeks, we're going to be heading to Spain at Circuito del Alcañiz, pardon me, got to use the N there, in Spain, otherwise known as Motorland Aragon, for the first 90-minute event in the World Challenge here for season number, I believe, 15 of the World Challenge. So that's going to wrap things up tonight. Want to thank, of course, Jonathan Grabowski behind the scenes, Larry Lefty McLeod. I'm Greg Ginsburg, and we'll see you next Monday night. Have a great week, everybody.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.